Hey, welcome back to session 2 on our book of Ruth. So my husband Ryan, he knows when I'm upset. I mean, good man out of him. Do you know when somebody in your life is upset? Or you know them well enough to know when something kind of behind the scenes is wrong, even if they say that they're fine? And I'll be honest, I am not the greatest at being upset. I'm not the kind of wife that just wants to have my husband hug me and cry into his shoulder. That's just not the kind of comfort that I am to me. I wasn't that kind of daughter to my parents either. I'm the kind of person that when I'm upset, I just want to fix it. I just want to muscle my way through it, do it all on my own. He has to kind of approach me really carefully to be able to try and comfort me at all, because I'm fine. I'm fine. I got this. I can do this. So if you know those kind of people, those are my kind of people. Well, Naomi in the book of Ruth, she is that kind of person. She's been hit with this tragedy where she's lost her husband, she's lost her sons, and she's living in this foreign country. And she's become this bitter person. She's angry and she's upset. So she gets word that the famine that previously existed in her home city of Bethlehem is over and that there's food there. And so she thinks that it's time for her to return back to her home. So she sets out on the road back towards Bethlehem, and she looks at her two daughters-in-law and she says this to them. She says, "All right, daughters-in-law, all right, Orpah and Ruth, go back, each of you. Go back to your mom's house. May the Lord show you kindness, and may you get to see the same kindness that your dead husbands had for me. May the Lord grant that you can find rest in another husband. Go, go, go." And she's pushing these daughter-in-laws out. But the truth is that in that culture and at that time, Orpah and Ruth, they're now legally committed to Naomi. So what she's doing by pushing them out, she's actually legally releasing them from that commitment. She's telling them to go home to their parents and just find another husband, kind of forget all about me. I'm going to be fine. She kisses them goodbye, and then they say to her, they said, no, we will go back with you. They're trying to honor their commitment to Naomi. But Naomi says, you know what, hey, return home, my daughters. Why would you want to come with me? It's not I'm going to give you any more sons who could become your husband. You owe me nothing. Return home, because I am too old to have another husband. And even if I thought that there was still hope for me, even if I had given birth to Muslims, where would you be until they grew up? She just is pushing them all the way out. You see, she doesn't want them to be with her in the midst of her tragedy. And she's pushing them out like that. She's like, no, I'm going to handle this all on my own. You're released. You can go. And then she says this thing. She says, well, God is against me anyway. It's very dramatic, really. One daughter-in-law, Orpah, she decides that she's going to take Naomi up on her offer, that she's going to turn around and go back to her family. But the other daughter-in-law, Ruth, stays. She stays with Naomi. Naomi says to her, look, your sister-in-law is going back to her people. Why don't you just go with her? See, she's pushing her away. But then Ruth, she must have some formidability about her, because she doubles down. And she says to her mother-in-law, Naomi, she says, don't urge me to leave you. Where you go, I will go. And where you stay, I will stay. And your people will be my people. And your God will be my God. She doubles down. And then she says this. She says, where you die, I will die. And then that is where I will be buried. And then may the Lord deal with me, even if it's so severely that death separates you from me. I mean, her pledge towards Naomi is just unrivalable. She is faithful. She's going to stick around with Naomi. Ruth's willing to give everything up to be with her mother-in-law in the midst of their shared grief together, including giving up the God that Ruth has previously worshipped. The two of them, they go on their own. They continue their trek to Bethlehem. And when they get there, Naomi's people, they notice that she's different. She's not the person that left all those years ago to go find food in Moab. Instead, she's coming back with some bitterness, with some tragic loss. And she's coming back with this foreign daughter-in-law who's not going to fit in that culture. So here's my question for you. What do you do when you're struggling? Are you the kind of person that seems to push people away and want to just do it for yourself? You see, for Naomi and Ruth, this is just the beginning of their adventure together. Here's what I'd love for you to think about today is, number one, when you're upset, do you push people away or do you pull them closer? And number two, what reasons do you think that Ruth had to stay with Naomi during this time? Thanks for joining me.